All right. Here we are once again. This is the story so far. I'm Aaron, flying solo. Last week, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we didn't put up an episode, and that was because Matt had a little death in his family. Not a person, but a family pet, and it was his wife's since she was little. So we didn't have a show last week, but this week he's MIA. Not sure what's going on there, but hopefully he'll return next week. But I decided, it's been almost 2 weeks now since we did a show, so I want to get one up so that you guys know, excuse me, so that you guys know that we are not, canceling the show or anything. I think from now on I'm probably going to try and do a show solo when I don't have my co-host with me. So I did write down a few things that I do want to talk about tonight. First thing I want to show you guys is, as you can see, this is it's actually a belt buckle. It's made out of leather. I made it myself. It's a picture of a skull, I should say. A lot of people might have seen some of my photos that I put up about it. I posted some progress pics of it, but I hope that they're not thinking that it was an attempt to make a Punisher skull, because I do like the Punisher quite a bit. It's actually the symbol for a guy named Chapel from, I do believe it's Image Comics. He's a character in the Spawn comic books. So I saw his symbol. I really liked it, and so I thought, well, we'll make an attempt at doing that. This is my first attempt at doing leather since I was in high school. Then I made a belt, and I had it for a long time, but I ended up losing it somewhere along the lines. And I really liked doing it back then. I've been wanting to get back into it for quite some time. Bought the supplies almost 2 years ago, and have just held on to them. Haven't really done much with them. I haven't done anything with them, actually. Until I made this fine piece here. So I thought, might as well just dive right in. So I dove in and did this one here. Didn't do any practice pieces beforehand, and thought that it turned out quite well. Used a dark stain on it, and so it gives the skull a nice weathered look. Makes everything else nice and dark. It actually, if you look at it up close, it gives it a nice wood grain finish, especially the backside looks just like a piece of wood. But it turned out really well, I thought. I was really excited about it. I'm thinking about several designs for my next piece. I don't know that, I don't think that I'll be necessarily making another belt buckle with my next piece, but I think there will be more belt buckles in the future. And I think, if things turn out all right, I might end up selling these. So for any of my friends that want one, just let me know, and we'll try and make it happen. But I think I'm going to start doing maybe some leather patches and some other type of stuff. Definitely doing some bracelets. Would like to possibly do some watch bands if I can. We'll have to see how that turns out. But overall, I'm satisfied with this piece, and we're just moving on to the next one, and we're going to take it from there. We'll see how things turn out. So, other things I wanted to talk about tonight, it is the fall TV season. Already we've had Breaking Bad going on for a little bit for the last half of season 5, I do believe. It is their final season, and this coming weekend is the final episode of the series. Definitely keeping you on your toes with things that are happening. Honestly, watching the last few seasons and the first half of this season, I honestly didn't think that they would go to where they've gone to, but it will be interesting to see the final episode of that. Also, you got Sons of Anarchy, which is going on right now. They're only airing the 3rd episode, I think, tonight of the current season, so that's taken some interesting turns already. So not going to spoil anything for you guys on these two for sure. Just because if you haven't seen the Breaking Bad yet, I really don't want to ruin that. And Sons of Anarchy, like I say, it's only into episode 3. So if you got somebody out there that has a DVR, definitely see if they've got it recorded for you. Check into it. Also starting tonight is Tuesday, so it was the third episode of Sons of Anarchy. Also tonight was the first episode, the pilot episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I caught most of that. I was doing some other stuff while that was on. I did DVR it, and I think I'll probably go back and watch it again. But from what I caught of it, it was definitely an interesting start to the series. I'm not spoiling anything by saying that everybody that has seen it saw the return of Agent Coulson. So it'll be interesting to see how they reveal how he came back. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen The Avengers, you need to go see The Avengers to see what happens to Agent Coulson. But, this is definitely a series that's going to be centered around him and his team. Agent Maria, I can't think of what her last name is right offhand, but anyway, she's like the deputy head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Again, see Avengers for her. Maria Hill, that's her name, sorry. Anyway, Agent Maria Hill is expected to make some cameos in the series, so we'll see how that turns out. Sorry. Apparently I have ADD. But anyway, Agent Hill is supposed to make some cameos during the season, and so we'll see how that goes. I've also heard that the lady that plays her, who was on How I Met Your Mother, is possibly going, she may end up becoming a regular on the series, but we'll see how that all progresses. Speaking of series that are ending, I think that Dexter actually just ended Sunday also for that series. I have not yet to watch even one episode of that, so I've got to get on Netflix and catch up with that. But I want to talk about that as far as that series ending. There was also a famous series that ended that is now on Netflix that they brought back on Netflix for the full season was Arrested Development. And the reason why I want to talk about these shows is I've heard rumors for quite a while that once Breaking Bad ends that they may turn it into a movie. I've heard rumors for quite a long time about Arrested Development being made into a movie. And I gotta say, I think it's a bad idea to take a television series and turn it into a movie. Just based on the fact that some things work great on television and don't necessarily transfer over to the big screen, and vice versa. Some things work great as a movie, standalone movie, or even a series of movies, but there's not enough there to transfer over, not enough creativity, I should say, in the writers to transfer that into making a good series. There have been attempts to make movies into series. I do know the Blade movies, for those comic book fans out there, they did make that into a series, and I think it lasted all of maybe 1 or 2 seasons, and they just could not get the steam going. But as far as turning television series into movies, I don't think that you're following. I think if you do that, I don't think that you're going to, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't seem like the script sounds that great to transfer into a movie. And generally, when you do that, go from a television series to a movie, usually the people that watch it are the fans of the show, and that's about it. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to bring in the general audience to watch that type of thing. So, but as far as characters go, I think that you could develop a movie, possibly a spin-off of a series, a television series, and have that work as a movie, and also have characters from the television series in the movie. But I think generally overall, personally, I just think that it's possibly a bad idea. You people out there might disagree, but I'm not sure on that. So, other things I wanted to talk about is there's not going to be an Aaron's iPod tonight due to technical difficulties. My speaker that I normally use just don't have it available tonight, so we're not going to be doing that. And also, I ended up screwing up my iTunes on my iPod a little bit and erasing some of my songs. So I've got to rework that because I redid it on synced it on one computer that didn't have all of my music that I had in my iTunes account. From one computer to the other, so I've got to go and get my old computer out and sync it back up to that so that I can get the rest of my music, because some of the music that's on my old computer is stuff that I've ripped from CDs that I want to have on the iPod. So everything else that I've bought is on the iPod, which is nice. So I didn't lose any of my purchased music, fortunately. But let's move on to one story that I found today that I thought was pretty interesting. It was actually on a tweet that I saw from What the F Facts. This is something that I subscribe to with my Twitter, and it was just an interesting fact that they have. I do believe that it's true, but it's possible that it's not. So take it with a grain of salt until you find out otherwise. But the story goes: the Polish government awards a medal for long marital life to couples married longer than 50 years who had at least one child. I think that's pretty neat that they do that, especially in this day and age where divorce rates are so high. It'd definitely be something to aspire to be married for 50 years or longer. I know that in my first marriage and in my current marriage, I'm aspiring to be married a lot longer than 50 years. So I think I have definitely a much better chance of that these days due to my wife. She's perfect for me. So kudos to my wife. I love her very much, and I'm fairly certain that we're gonna last a lifetime. So even longer than a lifetime. But other than that, I think that's most of what I got for this week. Like I said, I only had a few things because I didn't know how long I was going to be blabbing. So, but one thing I do want to talk about, I pimped my leather stuff, but I want to talk about Where the Blacktop Ends. It's a book that my dad has written along with his co-writer Steve Stout. Most of it came from my dad, but he had Steve fill in some of the stuff. I know I normally don't talk about Steve on here, but anyway, it's written by John Mizell and Steve Stout. And you can find the book on Amazon.com. Look carefully because I know that some of their pricing on there for this particular book is screwed up. But I know that when I searched it out, I think it was like $9.99 for a paperback copy, and I think $4.99 for an ebook. Those of you with smartphones and iPods and the tablets and that, I highly recommend going with the ebooks. But if you want the soft cover, look for it there. Also, you can look up John R. Mizell on Facebook. That's my dad's name, and probably hit him up on there. I don't have his email in front of me, so I don't have that for you to contact him there. But Facebook and Amazon are definitely the two places. Also, we do have a Facebook page for the book called Where the Blacktop Ends, and it has dashes in between it, so it's all one thing. So facebook.com/Where the Blacktop Ends with dashes in between all the words. So definitely look for it there. Also, for those of you in the Intermountain area, look up KJ Photography. She does great work as far as her photos go, and she's booking for her fall sessions right now. Definitely you can see up on the mountains that the fall colors are in. From the feel of it, I think we might be in for an early winter. So definitely time to get your photos taken while the leaves are still around, falling on the ground instead of the snow. So other than that, I think that's going to be it for me this week. Definitely, like the video, watch the video, share the video, especially share the video because that's how we grow the audience, is by you sharing it. It pops up on your news feed so that more of your friends get to see it, and then they will hopefully watch it and share it to their friends and so on and so forth. Definitely want to grow the audience. we definitely talk a lot about the local bands as far as supporting them. Definitely get out there and support your local music. There are a lot of great bands here in the Intermountain area, down in Salt Lake and up here in Ogden. I have yet to go to a show here in Ogden for somebody up here. The shows that I have been to up here have been from bands down in Salt Lake, and they know that's the place to work at. But definitely support them. I'm friends with Opal Hill Drive, who are a great band. The Red on Black's a good band. You got Vertical Overtone, Five State Killing Spree. The list goes on, and those are all just rock bands because that's the music that I'm into. But there's definitely country around. I know there's some rap around, and support your local comedians too. I mean, there's definitely some local comedians out there that would love to feel the love. So, hit your Wise Guys and different comedy clubs and that. Just basically get out and show the support for local. Everybody always says buy local. Well, definitely do it with your entertainment also. So, other than that, that's going to be a show for this week. We're running just a little bit shy of what we normally do, but hopefully we still had your attention for the show. And tune in next week because I'm going to keep doing the show even if I'm doing it solo. I'm getting tired of missing weeks for one reason or another. I may put out the feelers to other people to come in and guest host when I don't have a host, but I'm feeling good about doing it by myself, so definitely still gonna just keep it rolling, and hopefully you guys keep supporting me and supporting us. So we hope to see Matt back by next week, but if not, we'll just keep things rolling, and that's just the way it'll go. And anyway, we'll catch you next time. This has been Aaron, and this has been the story so far.